over Georgia Tech. So 2 boats here in our next race that is underway. The women's 3rd Varsity 8 Grand Final. Whitney, can you let me know who these boats are?
I would love nothing more, Joe. In lane 3, we have Georgetown, and lane 4, we have Fordham. So do not be fooled by the flanking empty lanes in lanes 1 and 2 and 5 and 6. So right now we have a duel between Georgetown and Fordham, again, speaking to the volume and depth of these different programs on the women's side. Very large programs, very strong, very historied programs. Again, it's looking like the 3rd Varsity 8s actually don't look like 3rd Varsity 8s, which again usually indicates that a lot of these 8s get to race and spend a lot of time bow ball to bow ball, maybe multiple 8s across, and get to train with their varsity programs or their more experienced athletes, which really sets up the younger boats for a lot of success when they come out here on a stage like this and start to race. And as we are looking at that now, approaching the 500-meter mark, we're looking at a few little steering blips here from both boats, actually. But our clear leader is Georgetown in lane 3.
Yeah, Georgetown here looking strong for this women's 3rd Varsity 8 final. And you see there you have Georgetown and Fordham in the time trial. Georgetown had a faster time by just about 30 seconds.
Yeah, and as we look down on Georgetown taking the lead here over Fordham, I'm going to see if I can get a stroke rating for you on the clock here. Actually rowing pretty high through the meat of the race here. Again, as we say, rowing at about a 37, so 37 strokes a minute. Again, the way that we calculate that is we tap a clock here with the stroke seat whenever she gets her blade in the water and catches that oar there, gets a grip in the water. We do that twice in a row, again, on the stroke seat. And we calculate that for you. So I have Georgetown there at about a 37, 38 maybe. And let me see if I can grab Fordham's stroke rate for you. Just one moment here.
Yeah, so a really nice stroke that we're seeing here out of this Georgetown 3rd Varsity 8, continuing a theme that we've talked about throughout as we moved into some of these sweep events on the women's side. Georgetown's name keeps cropping up. We just saw their women's 2nd Varsity 4 win. Looks like they're well on their way to winning the women's 3rd Varsity 8. We'll also see them in the women's 2nd Varsity 8 as well as the women's Varsity 8 final coming up later this afternoon. So the Georgetown team really all over the place here in these women's events. Look for them to be a strong competitor in that points trophy later today.
Exactly. Those are the ones you have to watch out for. And like I said, I have Fordham clocked at about a 37. So both crews stroke for stroke. So it will come down to other things if we remove that barrier or that similarity here between the two crews, since they are both at about the same stroke rate. We have to look at things like power, like steering, like accuracy and catch timing. So that is going to be the difference here in these two crews. So Georgetown, again, we don't know exactly what it is, if they're just a bit stronger, if they're steering a little bit straighter. We don't know exactly what that variable is that's getting them out in front, because the stroke rate is about the same. But we are looking at Georgetown as our leader by, I'm going to give them 3 boat lengths or more. Again, our drone is a little bit deceiving sometimes, but we are seeing some very beautiful, sharp rowing from this Georgetown crew. Clearly practices with more experienced athletes out there on the water.
Yeah, and you know, you have to give a shout out to Fordham here. They are one of the only crews along with Georgetown fielding 3 separate women's varsity 8s, along with all the 4s that we've seen them compete in. So the Fordham program really deep, filled with a lot of rowers. So really nice to see that Fordham team out here showing out.
Absolutely. I mean, that is not to be overlooked. It really takes a long time to build up a program like that and to have such depth and such talent from top to bottom. So, again, huge props to both of these programs, very strong for very different reasons. And again, both of these schools are ones that we are going to see time and time again that have done very, very well historically at this regatta as well as their own. So we will again see Georgetown and IRA crew. The lightweight women, though, are the IRA qualifying crew. Unfortunately, not the open weight women. So that will be the lightweights and the men of Georgetown there.
Georgetown, their open weight women still with a chance to win this coveted points trophy here, at least on the women's side. Last year, of course, the trophy was split between Bowdoin and MIT. It just seems like, although MIT is here, seems like we have less boats from MIT. Although, looking ahead, definitely some of the lightweight events, we will start to see MIT cropping up. So Georgetown, MIT, some of the boats, teams to look at. Obviously, MIT wanting to go back-to-back here in the Jack and Nancy Seitz Women's Point Trophy.
And look at this cool shot here overhead. We don't get to see that too often. You can see those beautiful puddles actually getting just a little bit shorter. So if you look at that stroke seat, they're actually still in those little vortexes of the finish of the person right behind them, the athlete right behind them. So they are starting to shorten up a little bit, which could mean that's not necessarily a bad thing. That could mean that they're just bringing their stroke rate up just a little bit. Again, hard to say exactly from this overhead shot until I try to get clocked stroke rate for you on that. So let me see if I can do that for you now, because you can almost guarantee, yep, here we go, already at a 38. So that's what happened here. They brought the stroke rate up just a little bit, which means they're going to start sitting up a little bit taller. And again, I'm not sure how this coxswain is going to call this finish. Could be up 2 into, it could be up 1 pip at a time, but they are starting to bring the rate up and sit up just a little bit taller so they can bring it home through that finish line.
Yeah, a few hundred meters left now in what should be a gold medal finish for this crew from Georgetown. I believe in events such as this, when there's only 2 boats, they will only be awarding the gold medal. So no silver here for Fordham, but still a valiant effort and a really a great sign for the depth of the Fordham program to field 3 varsity 8s out here today, as Georgetown takes their final few strokes here and takes the gold in the women's 3rd varsity 8. Fordham following shortly after. And there you see Fordham crossing the finish line. Next up on the race course will be the men's 3rd varsity 8, as we have a nice shot there of our Philadelphia skyline. The Benjamin